Everyone I know.
Everyone I know.
Everyone I know.
Everyone I know. Everyone I know. Everyone I know.
Welcome to Everyone I Know, the podcast where we argue about the mundane. We're here again in Troy. Ooh, where's Troy? It's near Albany. Where's Albany? It's the capital of New York. We're no longer in the Troy dungeon. We're in the Troy castle in the sky, up in our upstairs studio.
Yeah.
Very cool. I'm here
Another
with
room in Brendan's house.
Another room in our producer's house that he lets us use. I'm here with my brother Chris.
What's going on, guys? How we doing today?
I'm also here with off-mic producer Brendan.
Hey.
You can hear him in the background. Yep. Yeah. We're kicking it old school today.
We ain't doing no commercials this week because we got a biggity big boy guest. This week we have...
But you can find us on Patreon though if you really want to.
We have Kyle Ayers of Never Seen It podcast. And I made a little remixy poo of your some things from your podcast, so here we go. Are you ready?
Yes. Okay, so there's a guy. Okay.
P.S. Welcome, Dunkirk. Never seen it. Kyle Ayers. Never seen it. Kyle Ayers. Never seen it. Kyle Ayers.
Thanks for dealing with our madness, Kyle. Thanks for being on.
Oh, I like that a lot. Until my voice came into it, I was a big fan of everything happening there.
So Kyle,
I just still. Yeah.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
I just can't. I my own voice just throws me off so much. It sounds like someone who shouldn't be there is talking. Like I ran into myself in Looper or something.
Yeah.
So Kyle, tell us about yourself. Tell us about your podcast. Tell us about the live show you got coming up. All that good stuff.
Well, Never Seen It is a podcast where I have comedians rewrite famous movies they've never seen, and then we act them out. And we read them. They write their script, like a 6 or 7 page script for a movie or a TV show they've never seen. And we read it. We got a bunch of comedians. We get writers. We get actors. And we're doing a live show if you're around Los Angeles. It's on March 28th. And we're going to be taping it to put a pilot together.
Oh, very cool.
Of the show. So we're very excited. If no one shows up, it will be embarrassing. And so we have Sashir Zameda, who's on Saturday Night Live. We got Henry Zabrowski. It's going to be so fun. And we're putting that together March 28th if you're in LA. It's at Dynasty Typewriter, which is a beautiful theater. And you can get tickets at dynastytypewriter.com. I would say my website, but I forgot the password to update it. So. There's no more of that.
So Never Seen It started out as a live show, didn't it? It was a live show, and then it became a podcast.
It was a live show like 4 years ago, maybe in Brooklyn. We started doing it as to fill a slot where I didn't want to run a different show that I'd signed up to run, and so I came in. I just had kind of been throwing this idea around, and just sort of went, and it caught on so much. People just connected with it because everything with watching movies, the stuff people connect to about the podcast, people really connected to with the live show. It's also very fun to goof off and put on crappy costumes and basically put on like a poor high school production of something. And then we started doing the podcast maybe a year and a couple months ago now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I love it. I listen
it's very
every
funny.
week. What was I going to say? You also do Bow Straddle, which I think is a fascinating concept. Because
it is fun, but it's fun. That's like its own animal of like it's basically comedians complimenting one another, like reverse of roast, like nice roasting. And so you just watch comedians get out of their comfort zone because they're so defensive. To watch them have to be open, and comedians are good at being kind, but they're not good at receiving kindness. And so no one's ever more comfortable than when someone is nice and clever at them. And it's very fun. And people also, I like positivity. And so putting any positivity out there, people seem to connect with that as well.
Yeah, I think that I've listened to some of the clips on SoundCloud, and it's one of those things where it's I think a lot of people think that comedy is just being like an asshole sometimes. Like that's like an easy way to make jokes, and I just see like you can see the intricacy in the jokes sometimes when people are trying to compliment one another because like it's easy to be mean. Sometimes it's a lot harder to find a genuine nice thing to say.
Yeah, it is. You have a lot of comedians who do it who are like, this is one of the harder things I've had to. They like the exercise of it, of like writing, and yeah, it's just such a outside of most people's sort of wheelhouse for what they're used to doing.
So
It's fun. It's not serious. Yeah.
Oh, cool. So speaking of that, where else can people find your podcasts and stuff?
The podcast, you can get Never Seen It on pretty much anywhere you podcast, I think. Yeah. I'm not too we like iTunes and Google Play and Spotify, and on Stitcher we have some bonus stuff, and if you want to listen to longer episodes, and then if you like video stuff and expanded stuff, we have a Patreon with like live show video and studio video and like bonus segments. I made like some cartoons that I'm trying to figure out, and stuff. If you like my dad, I got a bunch of videos with him and stuff on there too. So So it's just kind of wherever you would normally find things. I think at this point it's nice. Everyone's kind of, podcasts are so popular, it's not like you have to tell them what the word means anymore.
Yeah,
right.
No.
Yeah, you don't have to tell your dad. Well, you may have to tell your dad, and we have to tell our dad. But you don't have to tell somebody. It's like a radio show, but it's on the internet, and you can listen to it anytime you want.
Right.
Yeah, people know what's up now.
They know where they like to find it. They know the frustrations with all the different apps and what they have to do, and so it's nice that people can find it in a varied amount of ways.
So one thing I wanted to talk about your podcast, I just started listening to it because I didn't know about it until Andy reached out to you. You do this segment with your father all the time, like where like he describes the movie.
Yeah,
we do something similar too, which is so funny because like our father like just started randomly listening to us, and he wanted to send us in letters we read on air. But yeah, no, it's so charming to have that in your podcast. I think it's funny as hell.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Sorry.
It's okay. I've started a little bit of a Kyle's dad soundboard. Someday I've got to start referring back to him as just my dad instead of Kyle's dad, but I've gotten so used to third-personing him. He describes a movie trailer for a movie he's never heard of, and you have to guess what it is, and it's kind of taken off as like the thing that people really like to connect to, and it's getting very, very hard. We're running out of... Movie trailers used to be a lot more vague.
Yeah,
this is what I'm finding and learning. Where it's like if he's describing the movie trailer for, I can't even think of any, Black Panther.
Yeah. He's like,
they will say Black Panther 30 times. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? In the trailer, and they'll be like, "That's the Black Panther, and he's a good guy." They give it the whole movie happens. If he's describing, like we did one that was like Kramer versus Kramer, which won Best Picture, you figure you would know the trailer. Even people, it gives nothing away. It's just like vague shots of people walking around and talking to a kid.
You've got to do the trailer for Cold War that came out recently because there's like no speaking in it. It's the black and white movie from like Poland.
That'd be so fun. I've sent him some because I'll sometimes I'll send like the links to movie trailers and stuff, and you get like the man with the camera and like all these like obscure art movies and stuff, and the nonsense that I get back is almost unlistenable.
Okay, so I think that there's a metaphor happening here. Seems to be symbolically representing something in the human psyche.
The most fun is he knows like 10 movies, and so I sent him "Oh Brother Where Art Thou" is one of them, and that's one of his favorite. I say it's his favorite movie because it's the one he's seen all the way through, and he was just like, he's like, "Oh, I like this one. This is "Oh Brother Where Art Thou." I'm like, okay. All right,
like that he's like openly antagonistic to like concealing the movie.
I don't know if he knows the game. He's never listened to it. So I don't know if he knows what it's used for.
That's funny.
That's awesome. All right. Without further ado, we're moving on now to topic number one.
It was a throaty one, bro.
That was a throaty one, baby.
So I'm topic one today, folks. And in the spirit of Kyle's podcast, we want to do something kind of similar. Not similar, maybe a little deconstruction of it. I want to talk about like films that you haven't seen and why people almost get like offended about it. Is there like a movie that you like that you get all the time, like, oh, you haven't seen that, that type of reaction, and maybe like kind of investigate why people are so like I was saying before, like almost offended that you haven't seen something, like why people get so upset about it. Personally, I went to school for film. So I always get the, have you seen movie X? Oh, how have you never seen that movie? Because you're a film guy, you should have seen it.
Never seen
shit.
Hot
Right.
Sharts Part 2?
Hot Sharts Part 2.
Hot Sharts.
Hot Sharts.
That'll be Hot Sharts Part Deuce, actually.
Yes. Good punch up.
There you go. So my one is always, I've never seen The Goonies.
Okay. Why haven't you seen The Goonies, you asshole?
Because I just never saw it, and now I think I'm just never going to see it because I get the exact same reaction every time. Like, oh, you didn't have a childhood. So how about you?
You want to like spite people's anger at you and still never see it. You don't want to reward their exploiting of you. You're like, oh, you gotta see it, otherwise my childhood's different. It's like, nah, it's probably about the same.
Yeah,
it's about the same.
You don't negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah.
I think that's a line from the Goonies.
Yeah. Sloth.
Sloth, you know, Sloth always said, you don't negotiate with the terrorists.
Well, see, like I've heard so much about this movie. I feel like I've seen it, so I know who Sloth is. It's the
Right.
fucked up face
I
looking
haven't
guy,
seen
right?
it either. I just
really?
know who it is from I Love You, Man. I think like some Jason Segel movie that no one saw talking about it.
Well, I feel like it's one of those things. I think that that's something that is so like endearing about your podcast is that, you know, there is a cultural consciousness of movies, even if you
yeah,
haven't seen
definitely.
them. You know,
Well, it's like,
We have a bulletin board up of where everyone who does the podcast signs whether or not they've seen The Godfather, and it's got like a Photoshop picture of me on Marlon Brando, and then it's like it's me saying, "Did you know a lot of people actually haven't seen this?" And right now it's probably like 65%, 70% have, but
Okay.
that's still, you know,
I mean,
40 people. That
I have not seen The Godfather because
what? You've never seen The Godfather?
I've seen Goodfellas, so I don't have to see The Godfather.
Very, very different
I've
movies.
seen Goodfellas and The Sopranos, and all they do is talk about The Godfather.
Very different.
I've never seen The Godfather or the Goonies. I just don't see the G movies, you know.
No Gone Girl. No Gone with the Wind.
The Gone, with the Gone Girl, no, The Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind.
The Gone with the Wind.
Qui-Gon with the Jind.
Boy, you, yeah. Wow, give a shout out to tpublic.com for selling 6 Qui-Gon with the Jinn t-shirts. Truly, but yeah, I mean, I get The Godfather was one of the first ones from the first ever show. The Goonies comes up a lot. The Goonies and I think is so particular because people have such an intimate connection with it who are our age.
Yes.
Or at least
much
like
so.
relatively around our ages. And so they've spent a lot of time with this growing up. And so they can't imagine it not influencing you the way it influenced them.
Yep.
They just can't imagine you've made it this far. And a lot of movies like that, like where it's these young Hook. I've never seen Hook, and people
Never
seem
seen
to
me
get
neither.
upset about that.
Don't fuck
And then
with
I
my
tried to-
nostalgia, man.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's like Hook looked like it was like 2 hours and 40 minutes long on Netflix. I'm like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, no, I got time for that.
I can't do this. I got to watch 16 hours of a show I hate instead. I don't have time to watch 2 hours of a movie I'll like.
Yeah.
But I never have seen The Wire, and that tends to
Okay, so
become a situation with people.
I'm not upset with you. I'm just very disappointed.
Do you support? Do you support police corruption? Like, what's wrong with you, man?
Well, yes, that's the big. I do.
Do you not
I'm a
have a
corrupt police
HBO
chief.
login or anything? Like, do you need to borrow my HBO login to watch The
I
Wire?
do, and I put on just random episodes of The Sopranos all the time. I have one of the 6 HBO Go passwords that we're all sharing. I couldn't even tell you whose it is, let alone what state the HBO Go password I use is from. Don't know. It's like an email I've never heard of. It's like sxgglobaltown.net, and I'm like, sure.
Yeah, what?
Thank you, someone's grandma.
It's the opposite of like a Nigerian prince email where they're like, I've got thousands of passwords and I just need to store them at your place.
You pull up the Rolodex.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing I guess with The Wire is that I think it was a lot of people's first thing that made them feel like an adult who discovered art on their own.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. The first
I-
good
yeah.
TV.
It's very good though. It lives up to the hype.
Sure.
It's an HBO
It's just there's
show.
so many of them.
Yeah,
There's
I
so many episodes.
Yeah,
There's so many
it's
episodes.
long.
But I say that, but I have watched all of Dragon Ball Z this month.
Hell yeah.
Like that's the problem is I just keep I know that if I want to watch The Wire, I have to be like it's almost like reading 20 books. And I love reading, but I can't dick around on my phone like an idiot while I'm reading.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I mean,
you actually have to pay attention.
I think that it's like a psychological thing. They say where like procrastination is a very powerful thing that you can actually harness. So like if you're procrastinating doing something, get something else done. It's not that you're motivated, you can't do something, is that you need to be motivated to do something else. So it's like instead of watching The Wire, you're watching like, you know, The Office. The Office, or the film equivalent of like Ulysses.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the whole reason I started this entire show and podcast was to procrastinate from something I was supposed to be doing. Like it all came from me needing to work on something and thinking about something else to do that has then taken up all this time.
Yeah. I'm working on a graduate degree right now.
Yeah, I'm on call for work right now, so that's cool.
And the film version of Ulysses, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Kyle's dad's favorite movie.
Have you ever had somebody they ask you if you've seen a movie and then you say no, and then they suddenly have nothing to talk to you about?
Yeah, that was like the one thing. The only thing they can speak to is The Godfather. They can only speak to The Goonies. I
don't want to meet the person who can only speak to the Goonies. That's very frustrating. I don't know why they're even crocheting in this coffee shop. But you have, sometimes if you're out and around, I think a big one was Black Panther when it came out, was pretty much everywhere I was, and I did see it. So, but that's all anyone was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it still happens every once in a while with theatrical movies, mostly like it and Infinity War last year, where everyone was talking about them when they came out. Well,
the big one
and kind of consumed.
So like that is I work in an office, and that's like the topic of every fucking conversation, because it's it's safe. Everybody can talk about movies. Everybody goes and sees movies.
Yeah, it's kind of like the equivalent of the weather.
Yeah. It's like one step above the weather.
Yeah, because you cannot like a movie. You can't not like the weather.
I just didn't see the weather this week, and I'm just a couple weeks behind. Don't spoil it.
Yeah. I heard it might get windy. I'm not sure. But
it's a whole new season already.
Man,
I'm a season behind.
In New York.
Yeah, it's over. I'll see you in the summer.
Yeah, this winter season's going over way too long this year.
You're really dragged in the middle.
Really dragging in the middle.
I just rewatched season 2. I like the intro music better. I think that's The Wire, right? Don't they have different music?
Yeah,
they have different music every season. But it was when the new Star Wars came out. I dragged my feet to go see it. And I just couldn't talk to people. Like I would walk over and they would just stop talking. Like, what's going on, guys? Oh, we're talking about Star Wars. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm just gonna walk away now.
Yeah, they're sorry you can't be around. We're having it's a birthday party you're not invited to, because we're going to be talking about Star Wars and so we'll have cake here in the conference room, but you're not allowed to have it because we'll be talking about, was it The Last Jedi? We'll be talking about The Last Jedi. I sort of am such a casual Star Wars fan. I like all of them pretty much. Yeah. I saw them all in a month.
Really?
I had never seen any of them. And then when Rogue One came out, which I guess was the year before The Last Jedi, I just watched all of them to go see Rogue One. And I was like, those are fine. I think it might be a timing thing.
Yeah. So Rogue One, though, I liked the last 45 minutes were really good.
Yeah, the last 45 minutes were great. That's like how all Star Wars movies are.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you're worried about pacing, you're watching the wrong movies.
There's no pacing in those films.
I mean, I'm like the idiot who I like slow movies. I also like heist movies, so I liked Rogue One. Well, I never had to wait for anything with any of them. You know what I mean? I wasn't like, when is the next one? Can I linger on this and sit? No, I'll just watch right now. But I'm like an idiot who I didn't hate the 1, 2, and 3 episodes very much. I thought they were fine. I thought the first one had some fun action. Yeah. And then I like movies about paperwork, so I like the second one. I guess I can see why everyone hates this, but I think it's so funny that they have to stuff has to go through the Senate. That was so funny to me. That's so funny. They got to sit down. They sit down. It's crazy. But it wasn't good.
See, I found too, lately, I don't have the patience for as much pretension as I used to. Like when I was going to school for film, give me a movie in a foreign language. I want black and white and no dialogue, and I'll sit and I'll watch that. Now I just don't have the patience. I'm like, I want explosions. I want Michael Bay. Give it to me. Give it to me in my face.
Yeah, I used to be like, the most mainstream movie I'll watch is The 400 Blows. That's as mainstream as you get for me. And now I'm just like, can I watch Serbia again?
Yeah, seriously. I would throw on Three Kings. I want to watch George Clooney.
Oh yeah, I do try and find movies that make me feel nothing. Like I don't want to go swing too far in any direction.
Yep.
I do that with the TV show Bob's Burgers. It makes
Bob's
me.
Burgers is great.
I love it. It makes me laugh. I don't get too stressed out ever. Like the
Yep.
stakes are never anything.
Yeah.
But it's so funny, and that's what I kind of try and find in movies when I want to put them on sometimes. But it's hard. They're so good. Used to be superhero movies, but now they're so good at making me sad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've made them effective. I've watched The Mummy 3 times in the last month.
Right? Put on Ragnarok because that one is good to funny to watch.
You can put Ragnarok on any time of the day. I'm happy.
So funny, and nothing really happens because it's like a bottle movie.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. What's the name of the director?
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, Taika Waititi. Have you seen what's it called?
What We Do in the Shadows.
What We Do in the Shadows is great, but Hunt for the Wilder People.
I haven't seen that one yet. I want to see that.
You haven't seen that?
I'm sorry,
Oh, boy,
I've
what's
never
happening?
seen it.
Happening? Oh wait, I have a button of my dad going, "Never seen it," but my computer doesn't run the DJ software I stole very well.
Have you found? Okay, so here's the thing that I was thinking about. When you tell somebody that you've never seen a movie, you're then absolved from watching that movie, right? Like it's over at that point.
No, because they keep on asking you about it over and over and over and over and over and over fucking again. That's what happens.
It'll
to
either
me.
be, it might be the thing they associate with you forever, depending on the movie. Like they might be like, "This is my friend Kyle. He's never watched The Wire." It's like, yeah, I also like have feelings. I have feelings in a life.
I'm
Like I don't know. I don't know if you do, Omar.
Better watch out, Kyle. Omar's coming.
And I wish I knew less about The Wire. I remember why my roommates, when I first moved to New York, started watching it together, and I missed day one, and then I never watched it. And they watched every episode together throughout like a year of us living together, and I'd just be in the other room.
That's rough.
I'm over it. I'm over it. I did.
You don't think
I
about
didn't
it
start
every
a show
single
that
day.
consumes my life. Yeah, my career hasn't completely been directed by that.
Therapy works, so you know.
Yeah, I have seen The Sopranos. I know that therapy does and doesn't work.
But I actually just recently watched The Sopranos.
I've never
it's
seen
good.
it. I saw
You never saw
Goodfellas.
it?
I don't have to see it. Okay.
Well, have you seen Casino?
I've seen parts of Casino. I don't have to see
You
it.
don't have to see Casino.
I've seen a casino.
Yes.
I don't
I've
have
been
to
in
see
a
it.
casino.
Been in a casino.
My coat smells like cigarettes now.
Yeah, if you watch Goodfellas in a casino, that's the same thing.
That's a
It's the equivalent
singularity,
of watching
man.
Casino. Yeah.
You're gonna end the world.
I think that there is 4 different levels of never seeing a movie. There's a pure never seen it, never ever, have no idea what the basic plot is. Then there's the next level, which is you know the basic structure. You understand that there's a bad guy, there's a good guy, something happens. Then you've like seen a lot of clips on TV of it, but you can't really say you've seen it. And then finally, I think it's I saw it a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I would say that third one is probably like the zeitgeist level
Yeah,
of
that's like
what
the
I know
Goonies.
about The Wire and where people can place characters and kind of where people have a lot of fun writing the scripts for the podcast is when you live in that sort of you know what happened, but you've never seen it.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that it's very interesting, like the points that people pick up on, like on Dan Harmon's episode when he was talking about Lawrence of Arabia, and he was talking about like the film stock and how fucking beautiful it is and stuff like
it's
that.
gorgeous.
And then like at the end, he's just like, yeah, and it's like kind of like a white savior movie, like right? Like I was like kind of right about that, right?
Well, it is crazy because I remember I was in film school and all our teacher did was like jokingly hype it up because he was we had like a film teacher who's very aware of like how prestige movies hold up and what was valued about them. So he'd be like, yeah, everyone loved this because here's the context, here's the cult. And then we watched it and you're like, God damn, that is beautiful. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, but everything everyone jokes about is right.
Yeah.
It's a pretty movie. And then you're like, and it is like not, it's a whatever movie, but it's visually very crazy. But it's so funny when we did his and I was like, this guy's a good writer. He's written all of the most beloved writers, emphatic television of the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Knows how to write.
Who'da thunk?
Who would have thought it?
So
He's another guy who did it, just procrastinating a million deadlines. He wrote, you know what I mean? He's like, should be negotiating getting my very popular cartoon back on television, but instead I am writing 18 pages of Lawrence of Arabia exposition.
It's all part of the process.
I don't think there was a line for 6 minutes of his script.
Yeah, it was mostly just him describing the film stock.
I gotta listen to that episode.
Oh, it's great.
All single spaced, and like the script he brought in was like you could hear it hit the table when he set it down. That was
all right. Without further ado,
let's hit up.
Let's just put this out into the public. If someone hasn't seen a movie, just have some kindness and understand that they have a life.
Yeah.
Don't
Don't remind them every single day at the office as like a point to like argue with you.
And if somebody's watched a movie after a long time out, like I just recently watched Boogie Nights. It's a good movie.
It's a great movie.
Please talk to me about it.
yeah, that's the funniest thing when you're like standing around, everyone's at the water cooler, and you're like, y'all seen Boogie Nights? Yeah, 25 years ago.
Yeah, but that dick was big though, right? You think it was fake?
You think William H. Macy's okay?
Spoiler.
That was like that was for me that was my first like I have discovered cinema. You know what I mean? Like you see that movie when you're like I was like a freshman in college. I'm like, oh, I am adult.
This is what adults watch.
They only watch movies about porn when they turn 18.
Yeah, that's when you're allowed to watch them.
Yeah. You can finally check yes on that website.
Without further ado, we're moving on now to topic number 2. All right, that's you, my man.
Okay, so I had brought 2 topics in case I needed to pivot. And so I'm going to tell you the topic we're not going to talk about, and then we're going to pivot to the topic we're going to talk about.
Okay.
So the first topic was going to be about movies and the distribution of like Netflix eligibility for awards.
Okay.
And that was going to be the first topic. But since we talk about movies so much, we're going to adjust. And instead, the thing I want to talk about is brands being funny on the internet.
Okay.
What up, Moon Pie?
Wendy's.
I am over it.
Yeah.
I am over it. I don't need to be less funny than a cheeseburger. Once I'm not completely over it. I like that they interact if they are actually helping people. Like I understand what people do with airlines seems to be somewhat productive.
Yeah.
I also don't love people just shaming where they're just big. Like at Delta, the guy next to me is a jerk. Give me a free flight. It's like, how about relax?
Yeah.
But I think every brand tries to be so funny now that I just don't know. Nothing is real. Nothing is real. It makes me feel like if someone wrote 1984 now, this would be part of it. It would be us getting brainwashed by corporations pretending to be people on the internet.
No, it's definitely like even like a Brave New World situation about it, where it's like you're controlled by a world of pleasure, and it's like everything is entertainment now. Customer service is entertainment now. The little spiel they give before you get on a flight about
it's got a production quality
vest
behind it and all that shit.
Yeah. Everyone doesn't have to be a Southwest flight attendant. Do you know what I mean? Who just goes and they're just crushing with the softest material. And you're like, but what does happen if we crash? If we crash, you're screwed. And you're like, just tell me what the fuck to do.
If we crash, go to the exit. Fuck yourself. You're probably dead.
Right. You'll have like a Southwest flight attendant who'll be like, and if your oxygen mask come down, we're not good. It's not going great. It's like, yeah, we know. God, I don't want to be thinking about
You gotta help in the situation.
Yeah. Oh, and maybe save a kid if they're nice. It's like, I don't know what is happening
Do they actually
anymore.
say shit like that?
Southwest flight attendants are very funny. They think they're very funny. And maybe I'm like a very bitter comedian, but they're it's like the only person who murders harder than a Southwest flight attendant is like a pastor on Easter.
Hell yeah.
And
Jesus Christ,
they go up and they're like awfully crowded today.
We do this every week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, no, but we all hate it here. That's why we're only here once.
Don't you shame me, you old pervert.
You come up with you're doing the same material from 2020 years ago. Come up with some material
You're just in the back, hack. Get some new lines. Tired of that amen bullshit.
Same songs. Wow. You know, even it's like with all the Twitter stuff, I get tired of like people trying to, where they're like, everyone go dox this brand because my Snickers bar tasted bad or something. And then Snickers will be like, we don't give a fuck. We fuck your mom. And you're like, what the hell is happening?
So me and my friends, sometimes we get drunk and sometimes we
Just
go
full stop.
Yeah, we get drunk.
Well, that's been the podcast. Thank you guys for
And we'll go on Twitter and find like an obscure product and just send them tweets. And normally they don't respond, but like recently we went after Rico's Cheese. It's a nacho cheese company. Well, so it started. Me and my buddy were trying to. We were having some people over or whatever, and we wanted to get some gross food, and we found canned cheese, and it was Rico's. I'm like, I wonder if they have a Twitter. So
Fuck yeah, they do.
They do. Like nobody talks to them, but they like try to interact with people all the time. And we just got into like a thread with them. Like I was telling me, oh yeah, no, I'm like, the cheese is so good. I'm gonna burn my foreskin off with it and shit like that. And they actually bit and like responded a couple of times to us. But the more obscure ones are fun to do because they're not really expecting it. I feel like
they need it, dude.
Yeah.
You're taking advantage of them.
it's fun.
like that might be Rico.
It's actually
Rico.
Like you're not talking to like Phil the intern or whatever. That might be Rico, who's like nephew made a Twitter for him.
No, 100%.
I think I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed by funny brands. I'm overwhelmed. Like if you tweet something like, I like eating sandwiches, and then it'll be like Cody's Sandwich Emporium from San Diego. It's like, come to San Diego. It's like, Cody, don't search for this. Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
I don't know what to happen. And the ones that aren't funny, try to be funny, or so like I'll give Wendy's and Moon Pie a pass because they were early on.
Yep.
They definitely pioneered it.
They Moon pioneered it, and Moon Pie is doing nothing. You know what I mean? They're doing nothing.
Yeah.
And Wendy's is like the first one to like roast people, and so they've been grandfathered in.
Yeah.
But everyone else biting off Wendy's mean Twitter and air. I'm just tired. Just maybe make your food cheaper, make it more affordable, and don't be funny on the internet if that's possible.
Yeah, to put your resources elsewhere.
$20 less, and I don't have Karen being hilarious. That's fine.
Yeah, you know what it reminds me of is back in like I want to say like 2012, maybe 2010. Like Eric Wareheim directed like an Old Spice commercial. It was like the Old Spice man was the big thing. And then every fucking commercial after that was like, oh, it's so random and stuff. And it's like, first of all, it's not that simple. Like that's not how like Eric Wareheim and like Tim and Eric stuff is. Like it's not just fucking you put a horse in the middle of your thing and then that's a joke. But like, and then it's just like every fucking brand does not need to be, a hellscape nightmare commercial,
It is all the same. And that I remember, wasn't that what launched Terry Crews? Was that commercial?
I think to some extent, yeah.
I mean, he was like around, but that was a very funny commercial. But that is Tim and Eric is a good example of what everyone tries to bite off of. Well, they're very specific. It's not like they go up and riff being random. This is like really scripted, very specific comedy that is hard to reproduce. Otherwise, everyone would be doing it. And then everything became that. Mm-hmm. There's like pretty much everything. It's like all these like Dollar Shave Club and all these like bizarre startups that were like, wouldn't it be wacky if we were random and hilarious as well? It's like, no, I just call them Foey Deschanel's when they're all like that. It's like, no, you're not wacky and random. It's bad. He's just telling me what the thing is.
Yeah, there's something more visceral about the way, like when it's done correctly, it hits right. But when it's done incorrectly, it feels like your dad is trying to fucking say like hello, fellow kids.
Yeah, the fellow kids thing. Like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that what is it? I know what you're talking about, where he has the skateboard and stuff. That is what it definitely feels like a bunch of Steve Buscemi. It feels like a bunch of guys in a boardroom planned young.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they've got all the different Twitters up, and they're like, all right, we're gonna take from there. Didn't Netflix get in trouble about some shit like somebody like asked them a question and then like, oh, but you still watch or some shit like that.
Oh yeah, they did a lot of shit. I remember back when Stranger Things was on the air, they had a picture of the sheriff, and it was like a CAPTCHA, like "Are you a robot?" search, and it was like pick one that's not a snack, and one was him. I was like, that was decent, but like I don't know. I feel like they try to do something that they just have no place doing.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Also, the clapbacks, that's like risky territory for a brand.
Yeah. I just am. I laugh at them lots of times and I see them lots of times and then I'm just like, oh, but this is an ad and this is not a joke.
Yes.
It is an ad and I'm being tricked and we're all being tricked into following. Like I sought out to follow Oreo. Like what am I doing? You know what I mean? It's like we're all being tricked into following brands. And so then I get frustrated. I'm like, I can't believe I'm falling for this. They're not doing it because they think they're funny. They're doing it because they know it'll manipulate people into getting eyes on their hats they make or whatever.
Someone's gonna make an organic tweet without being prompted of being like, Oreo is my life, cover me in cream. Something like that. Like, just for example.
Well, I have sensitive material turned off, so I wouldn't see that. But I hear what you guys are saying.
Well, they'd spell it like CREME, so like creme.
The pretentious fans of pretentious Oreo fanatics. You don't have to get me started.
Just big Oreo heads.
Let's talk about Oreos. There you go. That's if you want to turn on something to feel nothing, you watch the Great British Bake Off. It's the most polite thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
That show.
I like Nailed It.
Nailed It's great.
That's pretty mindless too.
Yeah.
What is Nailed It?
That's the one with Nicole Byer, the Netflix cooking show where they like yeah, so they basically like remake like Pinterest style, like overly complicated things, but with shitty chefs, so they like fuck it up.
That is, I will always go down and people will be like, look at this Elsa cake that I made, and then it looks like she's like dying. And I'm like, that's relatable online, digestible bite-sized morsels of content.
Yes, exactly. I think that
I just say I get frustrated with Twitter when I realize I'm being manipulated into being a cog of advertising. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I can't be out here laughing at Arby's anymore.
Well, the nihilistic Arby's Twitter is one of my favorites.
But that's not actually Arby's.
Yeah, it's not affiliated with Arby's at all.
Yet, but they will.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised.
We'll get Arby's to buy.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they haven't tried to absorb whoever does that into it, because it's a very popular Twitter too.
Yeah. Oh, imagine the backlash of him selling out that will be when he sells the nihilist, and then he'll be like, nothing matters. People are like, God damn,
yeah, got me.
Right. Got me again. I just got roast beef.
Yeah, damn it.
Eat it, Arby's.
Yeah, eat it, Arby's.
Look, I think we all have the specific moment in our life when we're told why Arby's is called Arby's is because it's RB for roast beef turned into a word.
What? I'm just having that moment right now. Hold on.
Wait a second.
Wait, hold on.
I'm going to say that is a myth because I watched a Mashable video yesterday actually about Arby's.
Really?
On YouTube, and it's actually the initials of the creators of like the founders of Arby's.
And his name was Roast Beef.
But
wait,
but then it turned into like like in the 80s and shit. They had the slogan, it was like, oh, Arby's is good roast beef or whatever the fuck.
So it's still just from the R, but then how crazy is it that their initials were the same as roast beef? That's even worse.
Well, you got two choices. You can either be roast beef or you can be Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan.
I don't know. I panicked.
Shit.
I think that might be it.
Yeah.
But yeah. See, now here we are, just like, I hate these brands. Here's a list of brands. You guys should check out these brands that I hate. Yeah. If you like these specific things, here's the brands I hate, and here's where you can find them.
We live in hell.
Let me tell you guys about this toothbrush.
Quip offer code. Never seen it. What was I gonna say?
I mean, when I do ads on the podcast, I feel like such an idiot. But some of the stuff I like, and if I don't like it, I won't do the ad again.
I mean,
but it's very bizarre. It's nice that people you kind of think people are like, we understand this happens.
Yeah, I think that like podcast fans understand that the podcast industry is fucked. Like that the only way that you can make money on a podcast is to get commission-based sales on like an ad. That like it doesn't really matter how many people sign. Like you get paid by how many people sign up, but like you still read the ad every week. So like we're a small podcast. People don't really give a shit to like do that kind of stuff. So we're just like reading ads for people for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
I'll only do like flat rate. I don't want to really have to try to get anyone to buy anything, but then it's way less.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's like $25 an episode total for whatever this is. Mm-hmm. And then you just kind of, if you do it once and then you try out whatever the thing is and you don't like it, I'll stop doing it. But there's just so many things. I feel like there's also, then I listen to like Conan has that podcast and I listen to it and Conan's doing ads. I'm like, famous people got to stop doing podcasts.
Yeah.
Come on, Conan. Leave the toothbrushes to us.
Yeah, exactly.
And let us scrape by on our last bastion of freedom. And the last gatekeeperless way of creating your own art is podcasts. And then it's like Dax is like, actually, I want to have a podcast. Like,
no, I mean,
Dax.
that shit's over. Spotify bought Vulture Media. No, not Vulture. What's the name of there's Twisted Media. One of the big podcast networks. They bought them. And so now we're looking at it's probably going to get pretty corporatized pretty soon.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's been sort of the Wild West of creating, and then you'll see what happens when people, because it's so popular. There's so many things.
Yep.
So someone's going to step in and become the funny Twitter for podcasts.
That's what we got to do. That's what we need to do. We need to be the clapback Twitter for like podcast ads. And someone's like, "Oh, put in this promo code. Don't forget my promo code." And then we're like, "Fuck your promo code. Yeet, lit. just say like kid words.
Floss.
Yeah, do the floss.
Belly
Vape.
rock, vape.
Do the floss. That's all we do is a new video of us flossing again for however long you can tweet a video for every single time.
With a quip in our hand.
Brush your teeth with quick.
Then you'll at least know how if it's been 2 minutes with its pulsating 30-second timer.
Oh shit!
All right. Without further ado, moving on now to topic number 3. All right. Beep, bop, scoop, bop. Topic number 3 is me. Skitty bop, 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 scat singing. Speaking of scat,
Hey, nice segue.
gonna get a little scatological here. So I recently visited some friends down in the city, and we had a talk about
Albany.
the city of Albany, the city of New York, greatest city on earth.
Best pizza, best bagels.
Best pizza, best bagel, best I'm walking here. We talked about a figure within our high school, because me and my brother obviously went to the same high school. We have a bunch of friends that we still keep in contact with from our high school, and there was a figure that we have now decided has become a moniker, much like the Batman or the Spider-Man Enter the Spider-Verse in theaters now, called the Phantom Pooper or the Poopetrator. These are people who...
How would you ever use the Phantom Pooper when the other name is there?
The Poopetrator. I know.
That's really good.
The Poopetrator is like the indie, like underground name for this person. The Phantom Pooper.
It's the reboot, really.
Yeah, it's the better name.
It's the gritty reboot.
It's the punch up.
The gritty repoop.
Basically, the people that go into mostly a men's bathroom and deface it with their feces.
Yep.
Now, here's the thing. I've talked to other people from other schools, different backgrounds, different parts of the state, different parts of the country, and it seems to be a rather common occurrence. So, firstly, I need to ask you: did you have a phantom shitter in your school growing up?
Yes. First, we need to commend this person for doing it in the bathroom. I think is the thing. If someone's pooping in a bathroom in New York City, that is charitable. That's a good point. A giving person. Yeah, I mean, your high school bathroom, you would notice every once in a while. We definitely had a Poopetrator in Blue Springs, Missouri, but we also had a guy who kept doing fake bomb threats.
Hey, we had one of those too.
Yeah, the old classic, the old stalwart John Wayne walking through the 2 push doors into the saloon, bomb threats. So missed a couple of nice schools not technically canceled today, but no one's going days.
Yep.
But we had to Poopetrator. I swam in high school, and there'd be that you would get, and it would permeate in the warm locker room and out to the deck of the pool, and then you'd come up for your one breath of air on a lap, and it would be consumed by shit. And then you'd be like, I would rather not breathe. I will eat chlorine over what is happening.
Well, there was one. So I wrestled in high school, and there was one time there was a team visiting us to wrestle against us. We walked in the bathroom. Just one of the kids from the other school is fucking taking a shit on the floor. It's like, come on, man, like we're still here.
Wait, that's actually like a really interesting bent.
Oh,
to
we
it
caught him.
Because here's the thing that I was trying to figure out is much like how we were talking in the first topic about the psychology behind this, and once again, I want to investigate the psychology behind this. Why do you shit where you're not allowed to shit? Why do
Well,
this?
it sounds like, yes, he was wrestling you guys, but also demons. Also his own moral dilemma.
Or IBS, one of the
one of the two.
I don't know. I did a show here in Los Angeles the other night at like a small black box theater, and we're sitting backstage before the show, and then someone walks back, and they're like, hey, I was at the last show. And we're like, okay. And it's tiny. It is like 7 people, and you can't move without touching somebody.
Right.
It's so tiny.
Yeah.
And then the only door is to the bathroom. He goes, I just have to go to the bathroom real quick. And we're like, okay. And then he takes the worst smelling poop I have ever smelled. And then he just leaves so quickly. All of the grace and all of the introductory is gone. And he darts out of the room. He came and he ruined an entire comedy show, and he left. And he came.
Dude,
it was incredible.
it's social
It took over your
commentary.
night.
Yeah, exactly. That's like an art. That's an art exhibit right there. How long
Art
can
exhibit,
people
but yeah.
ignore the smell?
It was 0 seconds. It was about 4 seconds. He left, and then someone goes, "Did he just ruin this?" I'm like, did he? Not did he poop? Not did that guy take a shit? Not that guy.
Did he ruin this?
Did he ruin this? And then we all left the green room. We couldn't sit back there the entire show, and we all sat in the audience because you couldn't be back.
It's amazing.
And he's just out walking around like he is nice. I hope he got in a car wreck. I don't that.
Redacted.
Yeah.
All
This
right.
happened in New York where someone would like poop on the train, and you wouldn't be mad that they pooped on the train. You'd be mad that they made you late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like a very like selfish New York thing. You'd be like, oh, couldn't they have fucking pooped like at night?
Yeah.
Couldn't they have pooped on at least pooped in a train stop with Wi-Fi?
You're pooping during fucking rush hour? Are you fucking kidding me?
Like even like set when people would like jump in front of the trains, and you'd just be like, come on, go out to like Canarsie. Can you just jump in front of the train somewhere where it can go around you?
Go to fucking Hoboken, jump in front of the train there. That you're already in New Jersey. Who cares?
Fuck the bridge. It is so selfish. Aren't you thinking about other people?
So there have been a number of high-profile poop crimes with a ZTM in the news lately. In 2018, there was the New Jersey superintendent or the pooperintendent.
Yes.
Yo.
Thomas Tremaglini. He was arrested for taking a shit on a competitor's school's football field, like every day for like a month.
Hell yeah, bro.
It fucking showed them.
Going to state, bitch.
Kennelsworth schools rule.
That picture like Varsity Blues, and he's like, shit the can off my head, boy.
But yeah, he got arrested. People. One of the things that I've noticed with these high profile cases is that they're all
arrested though. It's just
He got arrested. They also liked in all the articles that I read about it, they listed how much he made a year, which I thought was very funny. They're like, he got paid $147,000 a year. He couldn't find another place to shit.
All right, so if you see that, and you're like, I guess he probably had a bathroom at home.
shit.
But the thing that I thought was so funny about it was that first of all, they started noticing that someone was shitting on their field, and then they installed a security camera, and then they caught him.
Yeah.
That is always the downfall of the phantom shitter, is that there is a security camera somewhere.
That's probably why they normally do it on the floor in the bathroom, because you can't have a camera in the bathroom.
In a bathroom, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And then what if they were like, hey, we've had cameras in here the whole time, and we are also in trouble.
Yeah.
Actually, that brings me back to the psychology behind this, because I don't know if you guys know the Ring of Gyges from the Plato's The Republic.
What are you talking about?
It's a ring that makes you invisible.
Okay.
It's kind of what the ring from Lord of the Rings. Yeah, it's similar to what like the ring from Lord of the Rings, and it is exactly what the Invisible Man is based on. But basically, the idea is it's Plato's way of using what if you weren't seen for your actions. Like, what if you were invisible? What would you do? Would you still retain your morality? And so I think that goes right into it. And the bathroom is a private space where no one can videotape you. You can't be monitored. What do you do in there when who watches the watchman? You know,
you take a Duke on the floor.
Right. I just picture Dr. Manhattan alone on that planet talking about humans, but then he just takes a shit on that planet alone. And he's like, crap. He's got to go back to Earth. He's alone with his own morality.
Well, it's like the scene where he transports the girl, I forget her name, and he has to make like the air bubble around her head, but it's just like his shit fumes in there.
She's like, you gotta don't open it. Don't open it. It can't be worse. It can't be worse than this.
Another high profile case of poop crimes with a ZTM is the Colorado Springs Mad Pooper of Pine Creek. One of the things that I really have come to notice about these is that they treat them like they're serial killers. Like they get fun
like
names.
The Zodi crap.
Yeah, Zodi crap. Exactly. But they like give them notoriety and all this stuff. It's just like serial killers. It's like I feel like I gotta go out there and commit a poop crime.
We should make a new podcast, like kind of like
like serial.
Serial or
last poop on the left.
Yeah, last poop on the left.
Today we're gonna talk about Turd Bundy.
Son of shit, something like that. I'll work on that one.
Leonardo DiCaprio is going to play that serial killer in that Scorsese movie coming out.
I didn't intend for this to become a pun challenge, but I really enjoy that it's become that.
It's not that I wish I could sleep at night, but I can't because some words sound similar.
But the Mad Pooper of Pine Creek, she it's Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume men shit all everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, this is the first woman that I've heard about. Actually, she's like the.
Well, there was that one video I think it was in Starbucks that wouldn't let her use the bathroom, and she just like went against the wall, shit in her hand, and threw it at the.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah. It was like one movement too. Like her pants were down, shit's in her hand.
Yeah, it was a practiced movement. She had done it before. One of the things, actually, it's funny that you should say that, going back to the psychology. We'll get back to the Mad Pooper in a second. But I think that it becomes a protest at a certain point. Yeah. When you have nothing else, you use your body to protest. That's way you do sit-ins, shit-ins.
Nope.
Tiananmen squat.
Yeah, exactly. But it's one of those things where you use the body to protest something. When you make a human chain, you shit on the floor, you write your name on the toilet stall, and in that way you embody the protest, you embody the movement.
The bowel movement.
The bowel movement. Yeah, thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Okay, so Mad Pooper of Colorado Springs. So basically, this is the case where this woman was sitting. Her name is Kathy Budd. The Mad Pooper, spoiler alert, was never caught. So this woman is still at large.
Well, we know her name though.
No. Kathy Budd was sitting on her couch in Colorado Springs, Colorado Springs, Colorado. And basically, her kid goes, "Oh, there's a woman pooping out there." To which Kathy ran outside and said, "Are you really gonna shit in front of my kids?" And this lady in running gear said, "Yeah, sorry," and then left after pulling up her shorts. So basically, this became like an issue, right? Because this woman kept shitting at this woman's house. She kept coming back to the Budd residence and shitting. And
the same house?
The same house.
Jesus Christ.
So this is where it becomes a spiteful protest.
Yeah.
You understand that she's using her body to confront this family of 5.
Did they do something to
I
her?
can't get over.
No.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah,
She seems so in control with that apology.
So eventually, like the family called the police, had them like kind of monitor the area. So then the mad pooper just started changing her route and coming at different times of the day.
This coy genius.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Kathy put up a sign that said that basically she had informed the police and to stop doing it, or else she'd be, taken in as a sex criminal or something. And the lady just, like I said, she changed her route and shit directly in front of the sign. So basically, yeah, she was never caught. They did find a picture. They didn't get a picture of her. It's just like a regular woman with brown hair.
I want it to be like a sketch of like the Sasquatch or something like that.
It kind of is because she's like in motion.
Yeah.
We're sure the hair is brown, naturally.
But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where, like, I think that especially in our high school, it became like a fucking serial killer. Like, it really became like, when is this person going to
Well, we
come
knew
next?
who the mad shitter was.
Well, here's the point that I wanted to get back to the Poopetrator of New Hartford High School.
Okay.
That's not. It's not one person.
Well, it's like a mantle.
It's a mantle that it passes from generation
title.
to generation.
Yeah. Our mad shitter was Allard.
You're okay. So you're naming names.
Yeah, I'm naming names.
Okay. Yeah, one of Chris's
Allard as well.
one of Chris's friends.
A friend is pretty.
Okay. Somebody Chris knew.
Yeah, I went to high school.
Was he like a good friend or like kind of a shitty friend? Like if you had to.
Oh, definitely a shitty friend.
And for in favor of the pun, he was
Yes.
a shitty friend.
Yeah.
In more ways than one.
In general, though, too.
And then in my year, there was a phantom shitter. And then in the year behind me, there was a year as well.
Yep.
And I'm not going to name these names because I'm not a monster like you.
I think Allard's back
They could
in
have
jail,
a wife
so
and
I'm not
kids.
Allard doesn't have a wife and kids. Probably back in jail.
But it's just one of those things where it's like, who is this? Is it a dispersed network of people who meet in dark rooms with hoods on?
What I think it is you walk in on the Phantom Pooper,
And you become
and you have to take on that responsibility, that handle. Now he's now free to go. I don't know,
shit in toilets, normal style.
Yeah, or like piss
And
on
he
the sign.
hands you whatever Guy Fawkes mask they probably all wear while they do this, and you
Guy
put it
Fawkes.
on, and you go Guy Fawkes.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's one of
And
those
then you
things.
go poop in your Guy Fawkes mask.
I think that it's one of those things where they truly stand for chaos and rebellion. I mean, it is truly like it's like Tyler the Creator, kill people, burn stuff, fuck school. I mean, like you gotta shit on the walls sometimes. So specifically, and I wonder if this is something that Allard did in the. I'm going to call Allard the original Phantom Shitter because we don't have record of anyone older than you.
No, we don't.
Doing it.
Ever existing.
Did he shit specifically in the urinal?
Yes.
What the fuck is going on?
No,
that
so-
is exactly what happened in my year too.
So the theory is that he shit in a stall into his hand and then placed it into the urinal because he was a big boy. There's no way he's squatting over
He
that.
couldn't
urinal.
get over the urinal itself.
Yeah. And that would take way too long. So the theory was that he actually transported the turd into the
And
urinal.
forensics supports this.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. It's literally a fucking serial killer in our high school,
You
but
have
for
to
shit.
plan that shit out.
You don't
You
have to
be happy that this person is doing this instead of killing people because
is
they
true.
would get away with it.
I mean, small dark history of our high school. Somebody did kill somebody at our high school in my year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Clayton Whittemore murdered his girlfriend.
He did.
So they were more focused on the shit in the stalls than domestic violence. So big ups to New Hartford.
Yeah, man. But like Allard, though, he was just. I think he really was an agent of chaos because he did stuff like one of his other claims to fame. He took a computer mouse and threw it in a microwave
And just microwaved
and
it.
just put it on for 5 minutes and walked away.
Yeah,
Is
what
it
happened? Did it explode?
Oh yeah, it stuck up the entire like hallway and shit. It was disgusting.
It's crazy that we are allowed to have microwaves.
It
We
is
shouldn't
true.
have that.
I mean, based on the technology and the what it is kind of crazy that you have the
Well, like
ability
when they
to
came
generate
out, they
that.
were just pitched as basically magic because they didn't want to explain. They were, it's like, how does it make it warmer? He's like, push the button, you bitch. Okay, I will. And then it just stuff got warm, and everyone's like, ha. And then they just microwave stuff until they found out what you couldn't microwave. Like, throw tinfoil in there. Nope, don't do tinfoil.
Don't do that.
Throw a spoon in there. Don't do the spoon. Maybe the kid. Is the kid cold? It's like a real trial and error situation. But now we just have microwaves in our house. It's insane.
I mean, I think that it's one of those things where you have such like a complicated piece of technology and people recognize that and then they wonder, I'm a scientist. I would like to see what happens when I put this mouse in there.
Yeah. I mean, I used to have a radio show in college, and I did a fundraiser where I like lived in the radio station for a few days type of thing. Mm-hmm. And I would do a way to raise money is I would let you, if you donated money to me, I would burn a CD with whatever songs you wanted on it and then microwave that CD. And so then like live stream it, blah, 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 blah. And someone paid a bunch of money to have a bunch of Creed songs burned onto a CD, and I microwaved the CD, and it blew up, and it blew up the microwave, and the whole thing inside. Like, there's like whatever like grainy corner camera footage of me watching a microwave, and then being like fuck, and like running and finding extinguisher, and the fire extinguisher is 700 years old and clearly doesn't work and has never been inspected, and so then I'm just like throwing towels and dirt on a flaming microwave.
That's amazing. Dude, you shouldn't have fucked with Scott Stapp, dude. He's powered by Jesus. They're, they don't use swears. And there's
wide open.
How I know?
And you did that experiment so that everyone else didn't have to. You're a scientist.
You can't microwave any Rocky sequels. Except Balboa.
All right. I think, is there anything else on Phantom Shitters, any of that?
If you're listening out there,
about the Phantom Toll Booth.
What's that again?
It's like the Phantom Toll Booth is like a children's book from the 50s.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just picturing Phantom Shitter. It's like some children's book about like poop positivity, like everybody poops. Mm-hmm. But this one's about like poop traveling through time. Now, you know what? This won't get any worse. Wherever I'm going with this.
I gotta say though, Phantom Shitter, if you're listening, keep on doing what you're doing.
You know what? You're raising awareness of something.
Yeah.
You're doing something
Doing
out there.
something
You're
out
getting
there.
a response, so you must be doing something right. Maybe you should get on Twitter and do some clapbacks to brands.
Oh, yeah. Every time I'm like, Spirit Airlines is like, we're cheap. And then it's a picture of this guy shitting on a Spirit Airlines on the floor. It's like, of course, if Spirit Airlines is so cheap, you should be okay with someone shitting on the floor while you're on the airline.
Yeah.
Shit.
All right. If you're still listening, folks, thank you for listening.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Thank you for coming on today, man. It's good talking to you.
Thank you for having me.
When's the live show again?
It is March 28th at Dynasty Typewriter in Los Angeles.
Very cool.
So if you're out there in California, don't be a fucking chump. Get out there.
Come, please. Please, I need it. I need it very bad. It's all I have.
Yep.
All right, folks. Thank you so much, and be nice.
Be nice to each other, folks.
And don't shit on the floor.
Unless you do.